What's going on, people? I am Swerver, and this is the Opinionatedfactsmgr Group podcast. I am joined by Coco Love, Illuminated Lenses, a journey to be great. On this podcast, our mission is to build better relationships through using the power of conversation within our community. And so today, I got a question for our audience. Have you ever just been pissed off, man, angry, upset, and ready to explode? Then you realize after you exploded, maybe what you did was a little bit overboard and you kind of regretted it a little bit. But that's what we're going to be talking about today. Take it away from there, Coach.
Okay, so it's been all over my timeline this week, pretty much. But what's going on is Zanique, which I think her last name is Pullins, but I'm not 100% sure. But you might know her as Tiny's daughter and T.I.'s stepdaughter. So Zanique has a child, a little girl. She's probably about 2 or 3. And her daughter was on a plane this past week. I believe she was in first class. Now, if she wasn't with Zanique, I think, sent her daughter ahead with her cousin and her cousin's younger daughter as well. So by looking at them, by them being little cousins, they look just alike, right? Well, anyway, a rapper named Chica, I'm not familiar with her. I've heard about her more so in Mess, but I'm not familiar with her music. But she was on this same flight, and she actually ended up sitting next to them. Well, she took to Twitter to express how furious she was with the children being disruptive. I'm going to read those because it is quite interesting. So she said, "The lady next to me who thought it would be a good idea to buy yourself and your twin infants first class seats on a red-eye flight, who just woke me up by bringing your screaming bastard to our seats to soothe her, I just bought $34 Wi-Fi at 4 a.m. to call you a stupid bitch." Then she said, you are like, "Are you literally mentally delayed? What makes you think a 1-year-old will shut their bitch ass up on a 7-hour flight that takes off at 1 fucking a.m.? You already had them up past bedtime. I don't care the circumstance. Take your ass to economy at least. I'm so pissed off right now. I already had trouble falling asleep. And as soon as I do, you bring the consequence of your sexual promiscuity into my life. I got noise cancellation and I still woke up. Fuck you, ho, choke."
Wow. Okay.
It's not funny. It's not funny. But it was just like harsh. So anyway, obviously she tweeted those things or whatever on the flight, and she got that off her chest, right? And I don't follow her or anything like that. It was said that she had stated that she didn't think that, how she just got it off her chest instead of saying it to the people on the plane, causing a problem, and that was supposed to be it. Well, little did she know that, tweets circulate and you're well known, and it got back to the mother, Zanique, of one of the children, and baby, it just went off from there, and they've been at it ever since. So it's just kind of a lesson, I guess, maybe to keep your mouth shut. But I just wanted to get y'all's thoughts. Like, what do you think about that? Like, children on an airplane crying. Like, what do y'all think?
Yes. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Listen, your foot on the gas. Come on, go ahead.
I mean, true enough, it's annoying, but I mean, that's a possibility unless you're flying private. So,
Correct.
But to get online and, go out and talk about people's children, I mean, come on now. That's very, very classless, and it will cause you in some instances to get hands put on you.
I'm telling you.
That's just something you don't do.
I'm sorry. It just struck me. I forgot that I actually knew who this girl was. So, little backstory for y'all. She's from Montgomery, Alabama, right?
Oh,
No, I
I didn't know that. I don't know her.
But this is the kicker. I went to school with her in 9th grade. She's from BTW, from Booker T. Washington.
Wow.
the Chica
I
person?
forgot. Yeah, I forgot. I kept remembering, and I remember that a girl that I went to high school with had kind of blew up a little bit and was a rapper. And I had seen her before, but I always see her name in passing or whatever, and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. But then you said her name again. I was looking it up, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I never had a conversation with her or anything like that. Didn't know her as being problematic, but that was kind of it's kind of funny moment. Well, it's not a funny moment, but you know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what that was about. That was a little extreme. I know you don't want all that noise and everything like that, but I mean, I do think it blew out proportion. I mean, we've all been around bad kids, and we were like, dang, I wish their mama would shut their ass up. But kids are kids sometimes, and the parents be struggling with them or whatever. So it was a little unnecessary to me.
Have y'all ever been on a plane or even just a bus or public transportation, period, where you witnessed children just going crazy, making a lot of noise or being unruly?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I'll tell you one thing. She did take a little bit further than maybe she should have. But I can tell you that is kind of irritating, though. And I don't know if I definitely, well, I can say for sure I wouldn't have taken that same route, but that is kind of annoying though. And of course, like you guys said, you can't control the kids. I mean, especially depending on their age, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. I remember being at Chipotle one time, and there was a child in there, and he was just going crazy. Like the mother was holding him, and he just wouldn't stop crying, and he wasn't like doing a little silent cry, a little whimpering. He was going all out. He was testing every vocal cord he had to the full extent. And I was just remember thinking like it was embarrassing, first of all, but it was definitely irritating as well. Did y'all understand what I'm saying? Like you don't really come in thinking that you're gonna hear all this noise and all of this. So I can understand why she may have felt a little irritated. But I think in those situations you have to maintain control over your emotions.
I do get that. I've been on a plane and all of that, and I've encountered that. But the thing of it is, this is a public space. It's just like riding a bus, basically, and just in the sky. And I don't know if she thought because she had like first class or whatever that she wasn't going to have to encounter that. But I mean, that's just what it is. From my understanding, the cousin that was, with them, like on their flight or whatever, like, because one of the children was hurt, she responded or whatever. And it was not nice. But in her response as well, she gave a little bit more background, basically, as to what was going on. Like the kids had just woke up. These are little kids. They're like 2 or 3, So when they fell asleep or whatever, or got comfortable, the lights were on, I guess, and they had their little TV screen on and everything. And when they woke up, kids cry just for no reason when they wake up. I don't know what that's about, but they just cry, and they started crying or whatever. And she said she was calming them down and all of that. And then not to mention, she also mentioned that Chica was not originally sitting next to them. Like she asked to be moved and then came over there next to them. So if she had stayed where she was at, maybe she wouldn't have heard them as loud and clear or whatever. And then she also mentioned that they had a conversation, and the Chica lady was just telling her like how well behaved the kids were and all of that. So why, like, so
Really?
you're literally sitting next to me though, and you quote unquote bought Wi-Fi, which they said was a lie because I guess if you're in first class, they're supposed to come free. I don't know.
She's tripping.
Never been in first class, so I don't know. Maybe one day.
You haven't. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
But why lie about that or whatever? And if you're sitting right next to the lady, it's looking a little weird now. And she has responded because she's gotten a lot of backlash because you calling these children out of their name, calling them bitch ass and bastards, which is that's fighting words for me personally. You got to see me at this point. But the fact that you were sitting right next to the lady and you could have said that instead of paying for Wi-Fi, as you said, to say these things about me behind my back, you could have said these things or something. So I don't know, that's the problem. But she has responded to the backlash, kind of blaming it on her mental health issues. She said that if she didn't get it out in some kind of way, that she was going to do what she did the last time. And she references a flight, I guess, that she had last year where she, I don't know, had some type of issue similar. And instead of saying anything or venting about it, she got off the flight, missed her connecting flight, and went to the top of some building, she said, and was about to jump. I don't know. But the first time I heard about her, it was something like this, like where she said something that she really shouldn't have said, and people were just like going in on her. So I don't remember what it was, but I do remember that her response to that as well was that I have a mental health issue. So I'm not saying she doesn't. Maybe she does, but she might need to book some extra appointments with her therapist, journal,
or start flying private if situations like that send you over the edge.
Yeah, if they trigger you that much, or hell, road trip to wherever you got to go, depending upon where you're performing or whatever you're doing. But I don't know why it would drive you over the edge that much. But I
don't understand how is that helping you to get online and be very disrespectful to someone's children. How is that therapeutic?
I guess it's similar to journaling, but she should have wrote that down on a note. What's they call it on y'all iPhones, the little notes thing. Samsung has one too, but
don't be
notepad.
Yeah, she should have jotted it down somewhere.
It could be like that lady that was sitting next to that white guy that was looking, where they looked over her screen.
Oh, yeah. Lying
well, that's how you feel for real.
But it reminds me too of the other man, like about a month ago. It was this black man on a flight, and kind of similar, but he verbalized it, and he verbalized it loudly, and they had to get him off the plane. Child, he was on there. He was like, "Does that little motherfucker, did he pay for his ticket?" Like he was going off about this baby that was crying. Like he was livid. It's kind of scary when you think about it, because you're on a plane with these people and they going off about kids crying, which is the norm. And I get it. I have one. And the crying does get on your nerves, but everybody has somewhere to be. You know what I'm saying? And even people with children. And what are they supposed to do? Like just tape a pacifier or tape the kid's mouth closed? Like that's just what happens.
I'll say this though. Somebody that I've worked with kids before, and I worked with maybe 1,000 kids in the gym at one time. I can understand how being around screaming kids can be stressful. I will say, however, that I do notice a lot of people my age, around that middle 20s age. I do think that as a whole, we do need to work on being able to control situations that stress us out better. You're never going to be always in a perfect situation. You're not always going to have the opportunity to remove yourself from that situation, at that time. But you have to be able to deal with it. I mean, I don't think she has a kid or anything like that. Again, I don't know, but she might not really be around kids like that or whatever. And I mean, I get it. I get it. It can be stressful, but you kind of have to have that understanding too, that if you're stressed in this 1-2 hours, what do you think? What do you think the parents deal with on a daily basis? They get stressed too. So yeah, you just gotta be better and work on that, and work on not letting situations get you that stressed out.
I couldn't agree with you more. But I want to take this time to ask our listeners, what would you have done in this situation? In both cases, if you were the person that was, maybe you paid for first class thinking that you would be able to escape some of the stuff that may be going on in the economy, what would you have done? Do you think you would have handled it in the same way? Would you have just asked them to keep it down? Like, how would you have dealt with it? And also, if you were the parent, how would you have dealt with it once you found out that a passenger had said some crazy stuff about you online? Let us know. I want to take this time to thank y'all so much for listening to us today. We appreciate all the support. I am Swaver, joined by Journey to Be Great, Coco Love, Illuminated Lenses. This is the Opinionated Facts Media Group podcast. But until next time, peace.